Hare Om. Welcome to KP Storytime. It's again the Wednesday. First of all, as always, I offer my prayers to my parents, my mother, my father, my teacher, and then all of you people who are present here. So, Matrudevo Bhava, Matrudevo Bhavama, Pitrudevo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atithi Devo Bhava. Okay. So in this story time, we were talking about Ramayana. We had a good number of episodes earlier, and then we got 2 months or 3 months of gap in between for various reasons. And last week we discussed about my experiences, how I adopted the learnings from Ramayana, and then how I've inculcated all of that into my life. That's what we have discussed, and some of the incidents that happened during the during November, during the period of November to February, I discussed at that point. So there was a thought that because we had multiple episodes and then a 2 months of gap, either you must have forgotten the context of it or forgotten the principles that Ramayana was giving us. So today we wanted to dedicate it to reiterate or recap everything that we have discussed so far. Generally, it is said that for any human being, anything should be repeated 7 times so it can get into our subconscious mind. So I don't think this will be a bad idea to repeat. I don't think it will be a waste of time for you. So let's start with what was going on. So this story, we always were discussing about Ramayana. Ramayana means it's the story of Rama, the biography of Rama, biography written by sage Valmiki. It all started this way. One day, sage Valmiki was going to the river to take his bath. That's when he met Narada, another sage. Narada, by character, he roams all over the places. So he is like the reporter, news reporter, and even the advertiser also. He makes things happen. That's why people think that Narada knows answers for everything. Valmiki asked him, Narada, I'm wondering, is there one human being who has all good qualities, all the 18 good qualities? I'm looking for that person. Either now, living, past, or will there be a person in the future that can satisfy all these qualities? So let me read out the qualities that he was saying. The person should have integrity, bravery, righteousness, gratitude, truthfulness, dedication to one's principles, character without blemish, concern for all living beings, learning, skill, beauty, a pleasing appearance, courage, radiance, ability to keep anger under control, perfect control, a lack of jealousy at all times, undaunted heroism which can frighten even the celestials. If I ask anyone to adopt all these qualities, people will laugh at me, saying that this is not possible. And if I say Rama has done it, why can't we do it? Immediately they may say, oh, Rama was an incarnation of God, so God can do it. Who am I? Our mind always tricks whatever we are not able to do and someone else does it. We find a reason why the other person is able to do it rather than finding a reason why we are not able to do it. Always we say, oh, he is equipped with something more than what I am equipped with. So he can do it or she can do it. I can do it. That's the first step of failure. Always when we think that when that person can do it, why can't I do it? I've seen so many videos, the YouTube videos. One lady, she did not have both hands. They were cut at the shoulder level itself. But she had a baby. You can search on YouTube for that. She was taking care of the baby. She was changing the dress. She was feeding the baby. She was giving bath with her two legs. If she had ever thought that, oh, people can take care of babies because they have hands, I cannot take care of the baby, so I will not have a baby, she could have not done it. Amazing video. I thought this can be done. And there is another guy who did not have hands, but he was able to eat with his toe and the index finger of the leg to his mouth. I don't think I can do it, but how does that person make it possible? It is the intention here. I can do it. And the necessity to do it. When you club the necessity and the attitude of I can do it, you can achieve wonders. That's why, though Vishnu has come to this earth as Rama, he has never showed the extra, the God related powers. He has never showed them that way. He behaved as a normal human being and he has all these qualities, which means any human being can have these qualities. That's the reason why Rama never claimed to be God. He was always behaving like a human being. He had his emotions. We have seen it, but I'll repeat that one also. But where he had shown his emotions, where he has controlled his emotions. So, if we can attain all these 18 qualities, we will be like Rama. Integrity. When you say something, you mean it and you do it. Never make any fluffy statement. So, you can never, if anyone asks, oh, did I give it in writing? Where is the agreement? I have not said that. Which means that integrity is questionable. If anyone says something, that should be like an agreement. And person has to honor that. That's what the integrity is. Whatever a person says, the person does. If anyone can vouch for a person that he can do what he does, what he tells, that means that's the integrity. Bravery. The 90% of the failures are caused by the fear. Instead, if you are brave enough, you say, I can do it. Again, this goes back to the I can do attitude. Why cannot I do? And for that, if fear is entering the mind of a person, that I can do attitude will just disappear. So the I can do attitude and the fear are opposite to each other. That's why bravery is needed. Always say positive, always think positively and say it can be done. Then righteousness. Righteousness is we know what should be done. It's not that we are creating the rules. We are not creating the principles. You follow Bible. Bible has said what is the right way to what is the right way to live. Bhagavad Gita said for Hindus what is the righteous way to live. Or if nothing, Ramayana, Rama, the way Rama lived, if we can follow that, then that's the righteous way of living. Gratitude. Even a slight help received, we should show gratitude because there is no reason for anyone to help us. If someone helped us out of the way, which means we should show our gratitude. I don't say that gratitude means you should be just listening to that person and obey whatever that person says. Nothing like that. Instead, you should remember that person for the good things he or she has done to you. There is no perfect person in this world other than Rama. And we are trying to attain that with this experience, with this experiment. So, if that is the case, whoever you meet, you will see a negative character in that person. There can be at least one negative nature. If there are 99 good natures, but only one bad nature, and you concentrate on that one bad nature, or you encounter that one bad nature from that person, you should not judge the person by that one. Instead, if a person has got one good nature and rest of all the things are bad, remember that person for that one nature, one good nature. You must be knowing that whoever you meet, observe two things. One, the good nature in that person. Two, the bad nature in that person. And if you can adopt the good nature from that person and get rid of that bad nature within you that you have observed in the other person. Imagine if you meet around 10 people, you are taking away 10 bad things from your attitude or from your behavior, and 10 good things are coming in. There itself you become a perfect individual. So, always remember a person for the good nature that you observed in that person. That's what Rama does. Any small help he receives from anyone, he remembers that. And somehow he repays it. Truthfulness. Truthfulness is whatever you are saying should be true. It's very difficult to tell the truth, but it is very easy to maintain it. To tell a lie is very easy, but to maintain it is very difficult. Why do you want to have an instant, easy solution? As we said, telling a lie is very easy. That's the shortest shortest effort that you can put in. But maintaining that lie is for your entire life. That's so much of effort you have to put in. Instead, if you tell the truth, that's difficult at the first instance itself, but you don't need to maintain because truth never changes. Lie changes. Dedication to one's principles. When you decide on some principles, you have to stick to them. That comes with the integrity. That is a promise. Your own principle means you are making a promise to yourself. If you cannot keep up the promise to yourself, how can you keep up the promise that you made to someone else? So practice, self practice is more important, and once we are sticking to our own principles, then we can expect someone else to stick to the principles, the right principles, or does not matter. We don't want to change. When we decide on some good principles, we do not want to change for someone else. Character without blemish. Once a professor in a class, it was a whiteboard, he went and put a small black dot and asked all his all his students, what do you see on this board? Everyone said the black spot. It was a, say, 12 feet by 12 feet board, 144 square feet board, full of whiteness, except one black dot on it, which could be what? Maybe even 1 inch by 1 inch. That means it's 1 inch cube. People were looking at that 1 inch cube out of that 144 square feet of whiteboard. That's when professor said, why did you ignore 144 square feet minus 1 cube, 1 inch? Why did you not see the rest of it? 143 feet, 11 inches of area is white. You have ignored all of that, but you remembered only that black spot. Similarly, every person, if he has a blemish in his character, people remember only that blemish, nothing else. That's why it says character without blemish. So it's again perception. If a person does in one way, but the other person thinks it should have been done in another way. I have been taught to eat with my right hand, always. All the sacred things are supposed to be done with right hand. All dirty things are to be done with the left hand. I've been brought up like that, but if someone is eating with left hand, I should not be judging that person because of that. Maybe his right hand is not capable of giving him the food. Or maybe he has taken an oath that he will not. I've seen one grandmother in my childhood. She always used to eat with her left hand. So when I asked her, she said her grandchild had some vulnerability, and she took an oath that if that guy gets better, throughout my life, I will eat with my left hand only. In Indian culture, eating with left hand is seen very bad. So she said, I will take that. I don't care what the people think. Even if they think that I'm not doing the right thing, for my grandson, I'm taking this oath. And if I did not know about that background, and she is eating with her left hand, and if I judge her, if I make a comment on her, that does not, it's not a right way to do it. So, if I do not have a blemish, I should not be seeing any blemish on anyone else. That's how I can see this entire world blemishless. The next one is concern for all living beings. I've noticed that in US a lot, right? They care for every animal. They don't want to, on one hand, right? I'm not talking about non-vegetarian food and all of that, but if we have a dog, the person takes care of the dog very well. Any animal, any living being in the house is taken care of well. They treat them very well. Similarly, we say not just the animals. At some point, I see that the dogs are maintained better than the human beings. Everyone is a living being, whether you are a pet or your neighbor. So, we should create that kind of a principle or that nature within ourselves that we treat everyone, all living beings, equal. Learning. Never say no to learn. Most of the people say, I've learned throughout my life. I don't want to do anything more. I don't want to learn anything new now. Every minute is a learning process. What does it, if you say, I don't want to learn anything new, that means you are stalling your time. It's stagnation. Even the water when stagnant stinks. Human beings also the same way. So there should always be something above. You have to aim at something. You have to say, what did I learn today? When you sleep, that's what the question I asked. 3 questions I asked. What did I learn new thing today? How did I add value to myself? How did I add value to my soul? How did I add value to another soul? And then, did I take away the value of my soul by any chance? And because of me, did any other soul lost the value? With these 4 questions, it encompasses the entire characteristics of me. If I have yes to the did I add positive value to my soul, I should have the answer yes. Otherwise, I wasted my day. Have I added value to another soul? If I have not done that, that means I have wasted the time there also. If I have removed the value of my soul, that day has gone wasted. If I have removed the value of some other soul, again, I wasted my one day in my life. Skill. We always say, don't work hard, work smart. That's what the skill is all about. I was attached with, I was associated with charitable trust, charity organization. So there were multiple leaders. One leader one day said, "Oh, all those chairs in that corner, I want them here. Please spread them. Tomorrow we have a party here. We are meeting here. So all those white plastic chairs should be spread here." Fine. We went. We had put all of them. It was around 300 chairs. Suddenly another person came and then said, No, I don't want these plastic white ones. I want those cushioned ones. Please put them back and get those cushioned ones. Man, fine. We did that too. One way I was happy that I was doing the charity work, social work. Then the third person comes in and says, No. As the first person said, because the kids are coming here, we don't know how they spoil the cushion, all of that. These chairs are very valuable, so we use it only for premium people only. Remove them, get all the white. Were we working smart or we were working hard? By the end of the activity, we were all tired. So we can always claim that, we are tired, we have done so much work there. But was it really worth it? So always when you are doing some work, any item, question yourself, am I doing it smartly or am I doing it in a hard way? Even if you think you are doing it smartly, always think, can I make it better? If not, if it is taking 1 hour yesterday, and if it took 1 hour today, that means I have not improved my process. If I could make it 59 minutes, 59 seconds, at least 1 second improvement I made. Imagine every work that you are doing, every day you are trying to improve it, how quickly you can do it, how quickly you can become an expert in it. Everyone has got the same 24 hours, whether it is President of the United States of America or just daily labor. Everyone has got 24 hours in a day, but the way they organize it, the way they utilize every second of it makes a big difference. 90% of the people say, we don't have time. Why did you not do this? I don't have time for that. It's not that you don't have time. No one is manufacturing time. You have the same amount of time that others also have, but they can do it and you are not doing it. That means your priority, or you are not doing it the right way. That's why I challenge everyone. Whoever is very close to me, they feel and they get frustrated also at times, because I always insist on improving things. But challenge oneself every day, every routine work that you are doing, make sure that it is done routinely and your resources are not taken. Your muscle power should be used to complete your routine work. That's when you can spend time for other things. And as you take the new things and you make them on a regular basis, they also become routine work. That means your brain is no more working on those items. Your muscle power memory is working on them. Your brain is still available for something else. Beauty. Beauty lies in one's own eyes, right? It is not that external beauty we are talking about here. The beauty of the soul. You may be identifying me as Murthy today, but you identify me as Murthy as long as the soul in me is active. The moment the soul goes out, I'm called a body. When are we taking this body? They never say, when are we taking Murthy out? When are we cremating Murthy? No, they say, when are we cremating the body? That means the actual value, the one which is being called as Murthy, is the soul inside. If that soul is beautiful, people get attracted. Always make that beauty is not the external beauty, it is the beauty of the soul, and that's what this character is talking about. A pleasing appearance. Most of us, or all of us must have experienced it. When you meet a person, you feel like spending time with that person. Even if you are meeting him or her for the first time, you feel like to spend your time with that person. And some people, the moment we see them from the far away itself, we say, let me go this way. Somehow I don't like that person. If anyone asks them, why do you not like that person? You cannot pinpoint why. That's the beauty of the soul. It shows up in the personality of the person. So, the pleasing appearance is not just the clothes. It's not just the external appearance. It is the internal beauty. Courage. Courage to do anything. Courage to take risks. If you don't take risk, you don't get anything. The progress does not happen without the courage. Radiance. Radiance is that aura. Sometimes if you sleep for some time and get up, if you have totally rested, or if you are living a peaceful life, you see the radiance in the person's face. A lack of jealousy at all times. If anyone says, oh, I'm generally not jealous, but only when someone gets this that I do not have, I'll be jealous. So there are no exceptions. A lack of jealousy at all times. They could have just said lack of jealousy. But they wanted to enforce that at all times, whatever happens, one should not have jealous. Jealous is when we observe someone having it and we do not have. Most of the time it is the materialistic things. Instead of saying that guy has it, That's a negative feeling. If you say, I should have it, how can I should make myself deserving for that. That's the positive way. So always, it is not a bad idea to have a desire, but you have to make yourself deserving. Have a desire and work towards that and make yourself deserving, and automatically you get that. There is no point in feeling jealous. That's not taking us anywhere. Let's say someone has bought a 300,000 car and I feel jealous about it. He's not losing the car, I'm not getting the car. Then what is the point in jealous? I'm feeling jealousy. Undaunted heroism which can frighten even the celestials. That heroism can be defined multiple ways, right? Hero is the one who has all the good qualities, who can win under any circumstances. We think that celestials have supernatural powers. But here they are saying that the person should have that heroic nature that even the celestials are afraid. Why would they be afraid? Because when a person has the good nature, and if you see a principled person, we get that fear. If we are not living our lives according to that person's principles, and we know that person's principles are good, we are afraid of that person. So, if we can have all these qualities, that brings us to the last quality of heroism, to which even the celestial bodies will also be afraid of. Those qualities, Sage Valmiki was asking Narada, is there a human being who has all these qualities? And I wish we have someone. Immediately, Sage Narada told him that in the current, so we have a contemporary, Rama, who is the king of Ayodhya, has all these qualities. Valmiki was very surprised. He was not thinking that there would be one person with all these, all these qualities. Immediately he asked Narada, tell me more about him. Then Narada said, I'm giving you, you just do some meditation. You will get all the information. You will see as if it is happening before your eyes, like watching a movie. He inspired Valmiki to write the biography of Rama so that it will be a guidance for rest of the world. That's how this entire Ramayana started. Then Valmiki sat and he was thinking, how can I write? I know this is a very difficult task. How can I know that how can I know every detail of Rama's life? Can I do justice to Rama's life? If Narada says he has all these qualities, and if I do not write it well, that means I am not doing justice to Rama. And if you remember, Hinduism has got three gods. One is the protector, Vishnu. Two, the creator, Brahma. Three, the destroyer, or the one who keeps control on this entire world, is the destroyer. So the first one is Vishnu, the protector. Brahma is the creator. Shiva is the controller of this universe. Brahma came all the way from his world to Valmiki and then said, "This is a great effort, and I know you need help, so I'm giving you a boon. If you close your eyes, you will see exactly what was going on in Rama's life, and you will know all the details about it. So you don't need to research on it, you just write them. Make a book out of it called Ramayana." That's how Valmiki started writing this. And then let's go into the story. There was one king whose name was Dasharatha. He did not have kids. He married 3 wives, and I think in some of the books they say he had 365 wives. He was not getting a baby, so he was going on marrying a new girl, expecting that she would be pregnant. But if we come to the general life now, which means if there is a problem with the man, however number of girls he will be marrying, he would not be able to produce the baby. So at that time, you go to some doctor, and that doctor he treats the man. That's how he can get a baby. Similarly, here also, though he had so many wives, he did not have kids. That's when a sage appeared, and a sage told him that I can perform some yajna, putra kameshti yagam. Putra is son, kameshti is whoever is aspiring for a son, and yaga is the procedure that enables that person, that makes this person capable of having a baby, which means that could be some doctor there. They performed that yaga. Dasharatha was blessed with 4 sons. One from Kausalya, his name is Rama. 2 are from Sumitra, that's Lakshmana and Shatrughna. Then 1 from Kaikeyi, his beloved wife, and his name was Bharata. So Rama, Bharata, Lakshmana, Shatrughna, 4 brothers. In the background, there was a demon called Ravana, and he was troubling the entire world. So all the earth, Mother Earth, all the celestial bodies, they went to Vishnu, because Vishnu is the protector. They went to Vishnu and said, "Can you please help us? Can you protect us from this demon, Ravana?" Then Vishnu said, "I will be taking birth in Dasharatha's house, and I will take care of you." So the 3 brothers were also part of him. Total 4 brothers, Rama, Bharata, Lakshmana and Shatrughna. They were growing very well, and Rama was, one of the skills we talked about is learning, right? So he was learning it very quickly, and he was skillfully doing whatever he was doing. He was guiding his brothers. He was treating everyone equal. He had pleasing pleasing appearance. He had the gratitude, everything, all those 18 characteristics he was showing right from his childhood. That's why he has become an adorable kid. Everyone was getting attracted to him. Dasharatha was so attracted, Rama has become his life. Even a minute, if Rama goes away, he was not able to live. At that point, Vishwamitra comes to Dasaratha and tells him that I'm performing a spiritual activity, but other demons are coming and troubling me. I can kill them, but I have all the powers. I can kill them, but when I am performing that spiritual activity, I should not get anger. I should not be troubling anyone. That's why I want someone to come with me, and that should be Rama. Can you send Rama to me? Dasaratha, Dasaratha's life is Rama, and now Vishwamitra is asking to take Rama from Dasaratha. That's a very big blow to him. Secondly, he's saying that Rama will be asked to kill the demons. As far as Dasaratha is concerned, he's a kid. He does not have the skills. So he was hesitating. Then his guru Vasishta knows what is the background. He knows why Vishwamitra wants to take Rama. The background was Vishwamitra was to give all the powers that he had, all the weapons he had collected, so that he can confront Ravana. For that, he has to take Rama with him. Dasaratha would not send Rama for learning to Vishwamitra, who is in forests. So, this is all a plot created by Vishwamitra to take Rama and train him to be a good warrior and also a good husband, a good brother, all of that. Dasaratha did not know about it, so he was thinking that why is Vishwamitra taking my kid? That's when Vasishta, excuse me, that's when Vasishta steps in and convinces Dasaratha that it is for the good of Rama that Vishwamitra, he should be sent with Vishwamitra. Rama and Lakshmana were always together. Lakshmana was most trusted ally of Rama. So Rama and Lakshmana, both of them, they go with Vishwamitra. While going, Vishwamitra narrates so many stories to him. The best way to learn anything is by listening a story and knowing the moral of it. That's why we have night bedtime stories, and we read so many books for the kids. So that's what that's how we we build the character of a kid. If we say don't touch, don't go near the fire, they don't understand it. But if we tell that kid a story that XYZ was a kid and he was playing, he was very happy, he was going, he was healthy and all of that. One day he went into kitchen, he saw a fire and he did not realize that it is dangerous to him. He went and touched it, his entire hand got burnt and it has become so ugly, he suffered so much. If you tell that story, next time when the kid sees that fire, he would not go there. That's why in Hinduism we have all the stories created, and those stories give morals, and we have a reference point when we are talking to other people. So Vishwamitra also was narrating very many stories, why a particular location was like this, what happened to this person, and what was the mistake that person has done. By putting all of that into story format, he was building the character of Rama. If we consider Rama was a god, Rama was incarnation of Vishnu and he has all the supernatural powers. Why would Vishwamitra need to build his character? It was not needed. So Rama wanted to prove that he was born as a human being. He was grown as he was brought up as a human being, and he was never letting his superpowers show that he was not a human being. So he needed to be groomed properly. That's what Vishwamitra has done. And one of the stories in it is Ahalya. Ahalya was a lady, a beautiful lady. And she has all the greatest qualities. But again, the fate has it, right? That girl was ready for a marriage. All the celestial bodies have come. And one sage from earth also went there. Whatever condition was there to get her married, he fulfills before the rest of the celestial bodies. So he gets to marry her. But she saw the king of all the uh, celestial bodies. We call him as Devendra. He was very beautiful. He was very handsome, very attractive. He was rich. So any girl would fall for him, and Ahalya also fell for him. But because the condition was fulfilled by the sage, she had to marry him. She was performing all her duties as a good wife. But one day, this Devendra wanted to have fun with her. So when Sage went out, when every day Sage was going out to perform his rituals. So one day Devendra comes and makes a noise in such a way that the sage thinks that it was already morning. He walks out of his home. Then Devendra disguises himself as the husband, walks into the bedroom to Ahalya. Ahalya knows that every day when her husband goes out, he would not return until the rituals are over. If I were coming from my office every day at 6 o'clock in the evening, on one day, if I come at 10 o'clock in the night, definitely my wife would ask me, what happened today? Why are you late? Similarly, if I come at 2 o'clock instead of 6 o'clock, she would ask me, what happened? Is everything okay? Why did you come so early today? Is it not? Anything that you do out of your routine, people will question you. That day, if her husband has gone out, he would never return until the afternoon. But within half an hour, this guy came. She should have asked, what happened? Why are you here? She did not, because she knew it was Devendra and she had that crush on him, so she allowed. While they were having fun, the husband realized that it was not really morning, it was midnight. And he thought, what happened? What made me get up in the midnight and come out thinking that it was the morning? So he returned. He saw these two having fun. Now, what should he do? In the real world, we say divorce. It is as simple as that. I cannot take it. Divorce that person. But that's not what Ramayana has said. You have to find the root cause. If a wife is cheating on the husband, whose fault is it? It's husband's fault, because he is not able to fulfill her desires, and so she was going out to cheat with someone else. If I'm feeding my kid stomach full, why would he go out and eat somewhere else? And imagine if that guy has sweet tooth or whatever it is, even though I have fed that person stomach full, he goes out and he tastes something from, because his stomach is full, he cannot eat, but still the tongue may lure him to eat it. Just taste it. Similarly, even if the husband is taking care of the wife very well and he's fulfilling all the desires, still there may be a nature in that spouse to taste something differently. And if the spouse finds that he or she has going out to taste something, the punishment is not divorce. The punishment is to find the root cause and fix that. Similarly, here Gautama Muni is the husband's name. He looked at it. One, the Devendra was cunning. He cheated. Intentionally he cheated. So he curses him, saying that your entire body, you will have 1,000 eyes on your body because you have bad sight for someone else. You wanted to enjoy someone else's wife. So your body will be covered by all eyes. You will be looking at everywhere. You will get confused with everything at the same time. When people see you, they will definitely ask you, how come? Why you have so many eyes? Then you have to tell him. You have to tell that person, whoever is questioning you, that, oh, this is what has happened. I cheated on him. I cheated on that person. So that person has cursed me. Imagine if someone tattoos on the forehead of a person, this guy is a thief. Whoever reads that will ask that person, why is it tattooed on your face? He cannot just say, oh, simply it was my fun. I wanted to do it, so I've done it. No one does it that way. So there is a reason. And then when people insist on knowing the reason, if a person goes to the job, seeking a job, then he cannot say something. He cannot say, oh, this is my personal, I'm not going to tell you. Immediately that guy will be suspicious about him and says, no, I'm not giving you the job. Someone has experienced that you are a thief, and so he has written it here. That means I'm not going to believe you any further. That's what Gautama Muni did with Devendra, so that he put a mark on his body, so anytime anyone sees, will know that this guy has done something wrong and he has to give the answer to it. And then no one will believe him, no one will let him come into the house, no one will leave his wife with him without any attention. So he punished Devendra by finding the root cause. He has taste for others' wives. How can I stop? By giving him such a mark on his body. Everyone knows that this guy has a taste for others' wives. Let's keep away from him. So that's how he prevented Devendra doing one more sin like that. He could have killed him, but he did not. Then when it comes to Ahalya, she was a very good wife. She was fulfilling all his duties. But there was something in her mind which was desiring Devendra. He has to kill the desire, not punish Ahalya. That's why he said, you have to meditate. That's your punishment. While you are meditating, you are thinking about the sin that you have performed and you want to get it away from your body, away from your mind. How can you be clean from anything? By removing the dirt. If my shirt has a spot on this one, how can I make this shirt better? By removing the spot, not by throwing the shirt. Gautama Muni could have said, I have nothing to do with you, Ahalya, get out. I'm divorcing you. Is that helping the cause? Is that changing the person? How are we punishing? We are just running away from the problem. Instead, he said, you meditate until you get purified. And how do you know that you are purified? In the future, Rama will come this way and Rama will touch you with his feet. Rama will not touch anything that is impure. Rama will not touch anything which has a blemish on the character. So when he comes and he touches you with his feet, that is the uh, that's when you can think that you have been purified of all your bad thoughts. That's when I will come back and take you. He was not punishing her, he was actually punishing the desire in her, the sinful thought that she had in her. And when that sinful thought has gone and he has the proof of that, that's when he was coming back, he was to come back and take her. Why did that story, why did Vishwamitra told that story to Rama? Because Vishwamitra knows that in future Rama's wife will be abducted by someone else. That's when how Rama should treat his wife. How should he take her back? Can he take her back? So, to build that character, he has said, he told him this story, and accordingly, Ahalya was meditating. In the stories, it is told that Ahalya has become a stone. It is just not literally becoming a stone. She has become immobile while doing the meditation. That means she was not thinking of anything, not even food, not even comforts, nothing. She was just sitting like a stone and meditating to get rid of the ill thoughts that she had, the bad desire she had. When Rama touched her, she gets up. Immediately Gautama also comes and he takes her as wife, because now she has been purified. From there, Rama and Lakshmana were taken to Mithila. Mithila is a place which is ruled by Janaka Maharaja, Janaka the king, and he has a daughter called Sita. Vishwamitra knows that it is time for Rama to get married. As I said, his character has been built during the journey. And because his character was already ready to get married, he takes both of them to Mithila, and there the condition to get married was fulfilled by Rama. Immediately Janaka says, okay Rama, here is my daughter, please marry her. That's when Rama says, as a Kshatriya, that means Kshatriya is the one who is the warrior. As a Kshatriya, any challenge given to me, I have to take it and I have to win it. Here, the challenge was to lift this bow. No one else was doing it. And because as a Kshatriya, I have to take the challenge, I lifted it. I have not lifted it to marry Sita. I have not agreed to marry Sita right away by lifting the bow. Instead, you will have to talk to my dad, Dasaratha, and if he agrees that Sita is the right wife, right girl for me to get married, that's when I'll marry. Look at the subtle things. It is his duty as a Kshatriya to take any challenge posed to him. Because Vishwamitra has taken him to that place, and Janaka was saying that this bow has to be taken, it has to be lifted, and there were so many people who failed to lift it. That's when he announces again, so there is no one in this place who can lift this bow. Then Vishwamitra says, Rama, you go. At that point, Janaka was not saying that, hey, someone lifted to get married to my girl. He said it before. But before Rama went there, lot of people failed, and that's when Janaka has thrown an open challenge, saying that, is there no warrior who can lift this bow? That's when Rama went, which means he took the challenge as a warrior, but not with an intention of marrying Sita. So he has not gone back on his word. When he said, you have to talk to my dad and see if he's okay with this. That shows the characteristic of Rama. Why dad? Why dad? Because every human being, we all went through the childhood. We have all committed mistakes. And we don't want our kids to make the same mistakes. And whatever we have missed to do something, we want our kids to do that. So that way they can enjoy it. We want our kids' life to be better than our lives. That means, who else is the better judge to see whether a girl is right for the boy? Because the parents have seen the boy right from the childhood. And parents of the bride also have seen her right from the childhood. They know the nature, they know the weaknesses, they know the strengths. They know the characteristics of that person. So they know what are the complementing characteristics of the other person, so they can live life together happily. If there is no gap between these fingers, they cannot go together and they cannot form a powerful unity. If the hands were like this, if the fingers were like this, can they go together? They can't. Similarly, imagine this is bride, this is groom. And unless I know that this groom can get gelled with the characteristic of this groom, can be gelled with this bride's characteristics, that's when it becomes perfect match. Can these hands decide on that? Probably not. That's why parents may know better. They may be better judges. That's why it's always better to take the opinion. I'm not saying that the parents are the final authority. Take the opinion that this is the girl I intend to marry, and you tell me, observe her, talk to her parents, and see her characteristics, feel the characteristics, and see if I am the right match for her. Rather than saying that, is she right match for me? Always you think, am I the right match to that person? So Dasaratha was invited. He came. He has already heard about the girl. Janaka was also his friend. They were all neighboring countries. So he knew about all of that. He readily said, yes, she is the right person for Rama. That's how they get married. From there, they come back to Ayodhya, where Rama was born. That's his country. They were enjoying life together, and at one point, Dasaratha said, it's time. Rama is declared as the next king, is declared as my successor. Here is a big loop. When he was not getting a kid from all the wives, he went and asked for marrying Kaikeyi, another king's daughter. Then that king said, I'm not going to give you my daughter, because you have already married you have so many wives, and I don't want my daughter to be one of your wives. I want her to have some special status. I want her kids to have some special status, which means you have to promise me that her child will be the king after you. Her child will be your successor. Dasharatha has promised that king that Kaikeyi's son will become the successor. Kaikeyi's son is Bharata, but Dasharatha is so fond of Rama, he wanted to declare him as the successor. He was not righteous. He was not truthful. If father is not truthful and righteous, can you expect the son? Son maybe, but can we expect from him to be righteous? Can Dasharatha expect Rama to be righteous and truthful? He cannot. But the affection towards Rama made him, he was never like that. He always had those right qualities, but here the affection for Rama made him lie, made him cheat. So when Bharata and Shatrughna went to her grandparents' house, grandparents' country, all of a sudden he decided, oh, tomorrow I am going to have Rama declared as my successor. And everyone was happy. No one reminded Dasharatha that, hey, you made a promise there. You cannot get away from that. Because again, that's the affection that the rest of the people have for Rama. Most of our mistakes are because of emotions, because of our affection. When we have equal affection for everyone, we treat everyone the same. Instead, the moment we think this is my son, so he's dearer to me, he is someone else's son, so I'm distancing that person. And automatically I will be favoring my son. That's favoritism. I'm not truthful. I'm not righteous. If my son and my neighbor's son, they both come and sit at the dining table and there is food only for one person, and I know my neighbor's son is very hungry, he has not eaten his meal in the morning, but my son had eaten his meal in the morning, the righteous thing to do is to feed the neighbor's son. But naturally we don't do that. We say, no, we have to keep it for my son. He may be hungry later on. That's not righteous. Here, Dasharatha was taking away the right of Bharata to become king and give it to Rama. If Rama accepts it, he is also doing sinfulness. He is also committing a sin. Anyone who was subscribing to that thought and supporting it will also be sinful. But affection towards Rama made everyone to take that risk. However, there was only one person, Kaikeyi, who thought that this is not right. I have to keep my husband in the right path, however bad it is, however painful it is. So she tells Dasharatha that you have given me 2 boons and I want them now. The first boon is Rama has to go to forest for 14 years and Bharata should be made king. Everyone hated Kaikeyi at that point. Everyone said, you are such a nasty lady. You are doing like this. Dasharatha will not live. If Rama leaves the country, Dasharatha will not live. You will become a widow. All the queens will become widows. And this entire kingdom will be unhappy because Rama has gone. So you are the culprit. You are the sinful person. You will be blamed for everything. She did not care for anything because that's what I call as righteousness, truthfulness. She knows what is right. Dasharatha has made a promise and is about to break it. That should not happen. So she stood firmly on it. Dasharatha was not able to tell Rama, when Rama comes, Kaikeyi tells him, to be frank, Kaikeyi's beloved son was Rama. Rama was spending his time with Kaikeyi most of the time. People were getting confused whether Kaikeyi was the real mother or Kausalya was the real mother. Even with that affection towards her, towards him, she has not blackmailed herself emotionally. She stood on the right path and said, Rama has to go out for Bharata to take the kingdom. And if Bharata says no to it, that's a different case. Right? If my neighbor's son, if I offered food to my neighbor's son and he refused to take it, then my son ate it, it's okay. I was on the right path because I've offered to him. So here, Kaikeyi knows, why do they have so many wives and children? Excellent question. So, kings were allowed to have many, not necessarily allowed to have. When we say in Muslim, in Islam, they can have 4 living wives, which does not mean that everyone should have 4 wives. They are allowed to have 4 wives, and 1 is enough. Similarly, kings were allowed to have multiple wives because there is a social reason for it. If kings are fighting with one another, there is no stability. How can you stop fighting if you can create a relationship? So if there is one king who is very powerful and there are 10 other kings who don't want to fight with this guy, they want to have a relationship with him, so they say, okay, please marry my daughter, please marry my sister. That's how now we are relatives. We don't hurt each other, we don't fight each other. That's one reason why kings are allowed to have more wives. That's one piece. Secondly, the king should have a stable family. If he has only one wife and has got only one son, and that son is not capable of handling that kingdom, who will be the successor? So they are allowed to have multiple kids from multiple wives to make sure that there is at least one able successor to the throne. Make sense? Does it answer? Okay. Hopefully that answered. Then Rama came. Kaikeyi told him that Dasharatha wishes that you go to forest for 14 years and Bharata be the king. At that point, imagine in Rama's camp, everyone was happy that he's going to be the successor. All of a sudden, this news comes. People easily get disturbed, discouraged, and they get disappointed. Who should be the first one to be disappointed? Sita. Not even Rama. Because most of the time, husband's success is more important to the wives than to the husbands themselves. But Sita was not upset. Rama was not upset. Rama said, okay, this is the right thing to happen. This is the right thing to do. If my dad said, I have to go, there must be a reason behind it, and I'm going. Then Sita said, I will follow you because a good spouse will follow. And I want to follow you. In our lives, we get so many challenges. We may lose our comfort levels. If the wife and husband are together when it is comfortable, and when there is some challenge, they could just say, oh, it's your fault, I'm walking away from this life. That's not the life. If we can say that we have to make it work, we have to find a solution. That's when there will be stable families. Divorces will be out of question. It is so miserable. Divorce is very miserable. Those who go through that know the problems. So, then Lakshmana, as I said, he's like a shadow to Rama. So Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, they go to forest. Bharata comes back, and now look at his character. He was not accepting it. He said, no, Rama, when Rama is there, Rama should be the king. I'm not the king. So I look at the example I told you. If my neighbor's son says no, then this guy can take, my kid can take it. With that logic, they go back to Rama in the forest and then say, Rama, Bharata does not want this, you come back. Outset, it looks good, fine. Dasratha died. Kaikeyi is saying, come back. Because Bharata said, I don't want it. And Kaikeyi had no other choice. So she said, okay, Rama, you come back. Rama could have just come back. But why did he not come back? Look at it. It is the property of the younger brother, and younger brother refused to take it. And if the older brother takes it, that means it's charity done by the younger brother to the older brother. Can older brother have respect? Can Rama's sons have respect? Tomorrow, the next generation, Bharata's son, may come and tell Rama's son that, you know what, this is actually my dad's property. My dad said, no, I don't want it. Then your dad took it. So you are like my servants. You are living on my charity. Can Rama live with it? This is my personal experience. We were very poor. My dad was very poor. But his brother was doing well. So he bought a piece of land and he wanted to build a house. But he did not want to build a house without providing some means to his elder brother. So my uncle called my dad and then said, brother, I will construct my house on this side of the land. You construct a house whenever you can. You construct a house on the other side of the land and you live there. That gives me the satisfaction that my brother is also having this one. Imagine if all the brothers think like that, how happy we will be, how beautiful this world would be. Then my dad replied, that was even more. He said, you and I have love and affection, agreed. Today I'll take the lot you gave me. I will construct the house. And your sons and my sons may be doing better with each other. So they may love and they don't have any question. But tomorrow, when your grandchild comes and tells my grandchild that my grandfather gave this land to your grandfather and he constructed the house, at that time my grandson will blame me, saying that because of you, grandpa, today I've been insulted. So I don't want my lineage to have anything to be insulted because of me. It's a very good gesture that you have offered you the plot, and I don't want to take it. Please use it. Even today, if I can show you, his son constructed another house on the other side. There are two houses in the same land. So the younger brother did his job rightly. The older brother did it well by saying that no, I don't want it. When we are doing as human beings, look at when Bharata says that's his right, but the Bharata said, I don't want it because you are my elder brother, you take it. That's why Rama said, I'm not taking it. Right. So countdown started here. I have to go fast, right? Or maybe recapture the capture, I mean, recap can happen the next week
Yeah,
also.
we do a part two.
If people like this analysis, again, please give us the feedback.
Yeah, this,
If you're not, if you think it's a waste of time that the stories are being repeated, I will stop the recap or shorten the recap. Otherwise, we can always go back. And your questions are all welcome, so that they give me the thoughts. That gives me the food for thoughts, right? So similarly, just now I was thinking about I've never thought about why Rama did not take it. I was always thinking, oh, he was keeping up his father's word. Fine. His father's word was Bharata should be given the throne, and Bharata said, I don't want it. And he said Rama can take it. Why did not Rama take it? But just now it occurred. So every time I narrate Rama, I learn something new. I mean, every time I recite Ramayana, I learn something new. And today I learned that Rama did not accept it because it was like a charity that Bharata, it was not his, it was Bharata's, and Bharata was giving it to Rama, and his successors may be questioned by Bharata's successors. And he wanted to avoid that. Then, so he says, nope. And at this point itself, Bharata goes to Rama to get Rama back, but he takes all his soldiers, his entire army was with him. When Lakshmana looked at it from the hilltop, he said, oh, Bharata wants to kill you, Rama. He has already taken your kingdom. Now he is trying to kill you so that there is no threat for him. How easily anyone can get misunderstanding. It was Lakshmana's nature to get angry very quickly, and he showed that. He was trying to impress upon Rama. So it's not generally, a person is bad, and that person does not limit himself or herself to self. That person tries to impart that bad nature onto someone else. Here Lakshmana misunderstood Bharata's intentions, and he just concluded that Bharata is coming here to kill Rama, now let's go and kill him. He is coming and telling Rama about that. He's trying to change Rama's mind, but Rama said no. Bharata would not do that any day. He may be coming here with a good intention. Let's wait and see. That's what we have to learn in our life also. If someone is coming and giving us negative feedback, negativity on anyone else, think that this guy is corrupting me. I don't want to lose my nature of positivity. I don't want to lose my nature of thinking good about everyone. I don't want to lose the characteristics of myself where I remember a person for the good things only, but not for the bad things. This guy is trying to create a bad memory about that person. So Rama said, however close Lakshmana was to Rama, Rama said, Lakshmana, quiet. Bharata is not coming here to kill. It is not his character. Let us wait and see what he has in his mind. So in our lives also, never misunderstand anyone. If you think that this guy has done something bad to me, go and ask that person, I felt it this way, what do you think about it? And that guy will tell you. Here is a story. In Hinduism, for a married girl, this bindi, the dot,
vermilion dot,
is very important. She has to wear it, and there is a chain which is called Mangala Sutra that should always be there. And the drawing that they put in the front of the house, they have to put that. So those are the three things to say that this girl is married and has her husband. They are living happily. One girl, very dear to the father, mother died at the childhood, her childhood itself, and he brought her up so well. She loved her. She gave her everything. When she got married, she was performing, she was touching her father's feet to take blessings. Then the father said, your Mangal Sutra should break. Your bindi, the dot should be erased. The drawing before your home should be erased. She was so furious. How can my dad say this? Those things happen only when my husband died. And he is saying that he's blessing me that my husband should die. What the heck? Is he a father? He went to her in-laws' house and she told them. Again, if someone comes and complains to you that someone else has done something wrong, as a balanced person, you have to say, what is the logic behind it? Why would that person do that to you? So here, in this case also, the in-laws should have said, your father loved you so much. He brought you up so much. He has given you so much. If he has said those three things, there must be something behind it. Go ask him. They did not take it that way. They said, oh, your dad is the cruelest person. No one gives that kind of a blessing. That guy is insult to the parenthood. Let's not go. Let's not have any relationship with him. Cut him off. Fine. That girl did not see her father for 5 years. She had a baby, a son. And as he was growing, when she was carrying him like this, the first thing he was getting attracted to was this bindi, and he was the dot. He was putting his hand and he was trying to take it away. He was erasing it. And the second thing that kid plays was with the garland, and he was playing with it. It broke. And when he started crawling, he crawled to the front door and he erased that. When all those three things have happened, right away the daughter thought, my dad was saying that I should have kids who do all these things. I misunderstood him. She goes back. Of course, you can question why dad should have been straightforward. Don't take it as a story and say there is a possibility how easily anyone can get misunderstood. So if you are getting a negative feeling of anything, go and talk to that person and say, this is the feeling I'm having. Do you intend to do that? Immediately that person will say, no, that was not the intention. Had that girl right away asked him, why are you giving me this blessing? She would have enjoyed the love and affection of her husband, her father, for 5 years, which she missed. Had the in-laws told her that, no, you should not be misunderstanding your dad, you go back and ask him, at least that could have been avoided. But none of them did, because we assume things. The girl assumed that father cursed her. The in-laws assumed that father was a blemish on the parenthood. So, assumptions are the major culprits of our problems. Our relationships go bad because of that. So never assume. If you feel bad about someone's behavior, go ask that person, clarify it, and that makes the life very easy, very simple. So that's 7:30 now. I thought the recap will not take more than 30 minutes, but it just went to 1.5 hours, and it will go for the next episode also. And hope you enjoyed it. And please give us the feedback of how this has changed something in your life. How your behavior changed. Even one bit of the behavior has changed towards the positiveness. We want to know and we want to learn that. Thank you.